A band, some of the musicians in tears, temporarily stopped playing as band members ran to comfort bereaved relatives who lunged forward, wailing in grief over the coffins. "Our deep sorrow cannot bring them back," an Orthodox priest in a traditional black turban and black robes told the crowd gathered outside an airport hangar. "This is the grief of the world," he said, as Ethiopian Airlines staff sobbed in each other's arms. At least the crash had taken place in Ethiopia, the Holy Land, he said, prompting amens from the crowd. In faraway Paris, investigators are examining black box recorders to determine why the aircraft plunged into a field shortly after takeoff from Addis Ababa, searching for similarities to an October Lion Air crash that killed 189 people. Both crashes involved the same model of plane, a Boeing 737 MAX 8, causing aviation authorities to ground the model around the world after last week's accident. Prayers paused at the airport memorial. A banner offered deepest condolences and comfort to the families of the deceased crew. A service for the families of passengers, more than 30 nationalities were on board, was also held beneath the pink stone spires of Addis Ababa's Holy Trinity Cathedral. Families and relatives of the victims threw themselves on the coffins as they arrived and kissed pictures of loved ones. Incense was waved over the coffins, but there was so much weeping that prayers had to be paused. Afterwards, some said the service meant they could now shift focus from grieving for the dead to caring for the living. "Her husband is now left with an infant, he has to shift his attention to his life and raising his baby," said Getachew Negatu, a friend of one of the stewardesses on board the flight. "Her father and mother, including her sisters, are devastated by this grief. Everyone has got to come back to life as we cannot live like this forever." The families were offered charred earth from the crash site to bury, because most of the bodies were destroyed by the impact and fire. Identifying the small remains that have been collected may take up to 6 months.